Welcome to Diet Headlines. I'm Dennis Wu. Thank you for joining us. Enduring the scorching summer heat in Taiwan, Tima once again sets up a free clinic for foreign workers at Taipei main station. Taiwan's Coast Guard administration not only protects the shoreline against smuggling operations, but also serves fishing communities in need. And as people age, some develop dementia. We learn how a dementia support group in Taiwan is helping patients and their families cope with the illness. With the assistance of Taipei's Department of Labor, Tzu International Medical Association has been holding a free bi-monthly clinic for foreign laborers at Taipei main station for the past 8 years. In spite of recent heat wave in Taipei, with temperatures already reaching 35 to 36 degrees, Northern Taiwan Tima volunteers held their bi-monthly free clinic for foreign laborers last Sunday. At the end of the day, doctors, nurses, and volunteers from Tima altogether saw 200 plus patients.
With temperatures reaching 35 to 36 degrees Celsius, even just standing still, one starts to sweat. These volunteers, however, willingly brave the sun and heat to set up for the upcoming clinic. And they are finished. Today's clinic is being held especially for Taipei's foreign workers, strangers in a strange land. These visitors to Taiwan cherish these clinics for the love and support they offer.
Probably because you're constantly carrying the grandma in your care, so your muscles are under continuous strain. Because you're always supporting her, it might be difficult for it to heal completely. When you're on a break, try to use a hot compress on the area or massage it. If it is really too painful, you can take some painkillers.
Wherever these foreign workers have a problem, the doctors do their best to find an answer.
They don't have time to go see a doctor. As well, some live in remote areas, and so can often come see a doctor. So they only have Sunday to get their problems looked at. Most of their problems are occupational injuries that come from caring for the sick or the families they are working for. They truly have it rough.
They come from all parts of the world. Sometimes they don't only ask medical questions. We can see the lifestyles they keep. Some of them even tell me how to say, "I have a headache" in their language.
At this clinic, the interaction is not only one of doctor and patient, but also one of friends. Regardless of the weather, these Tima volunteers will continue to be here to ensure that this friendship carries on.
We now take you away from the heat in Taiwan to someplace cooler. As people in Taiwan cope with the southern summer heat, people in the southern hemisphere are facing the onset of a chilly winter. In Paraguay, Tzu volunteers in Ciudad de Este brought winter relief materials to two impoverished indigenous villages to help residents better endure the winter cold. Led by enthusiastic Tzu volunteers, children of Paraguay's Carande Indian village start dancing and singing. The village is 45 kilometers away from Ciudad de Este. 2 years ago, Tzu helped build classrooms for students here. Sadly, life has not improved much since. Many children still don't have a pair of shoes to wear. And with winter here, how will they endure without proper attire? Thankfully, Tzu volunteers come every winter with supplies. At another Indian village, Tzu volunteers have also brought relief materials. The temperature has already dropped significantly, and villagers are still wearing summer clothes. Besides winter clothing, volunteers also brought food and stationery for children. The smile on the villagers' faces show the volunteers the trip was worth the trouble. We devote this segment of our program to environment-related reports. For 2 years, Taiwan Special Police, first headquarters 6th Corps in Bada City of Taoyuan County, has made every Wednesday a meatless day in support of environmentalism. We catch up with Taoyuan volunteers who visited the squad on Police Day to show their support for the hardworking civil servants.
Veteran Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Atao is here at the Special Police 1st Headquarters 6th Corps in Bade in Taiwan's Taoyuan to promote environmentalism and recycling. As today is Police Day, more than 20 local volunteers also came along to honor the officers.
We brought blessings for the police officers. They are the guardians of our people and they work really hard. We want to wish them a happy Police Day.
Delicious smells waft in the air as lunch is being made. The dishes are all vegetarian as today is also Meatless Day for the 6th Corps. The police officers pledge a vegetarian meal every Wednesday, enjoying 5 tasty meatless dishes and a serving of fresh fruit.
It's great. We have 1 meatless meal a week, which is good for our health and even better for the planet.
It's good for your body and contributes to the environment. I think it's great to be of service in this way.
I've been a vegetarian for 10 years. By implementing Meatless Day at work, we are all helping to slow down global warming and prevent disasters from happening.
More than just guardians of the people, these police officers are also taking the lead in safeguarding the planet.
Law officers at Taiwan Special Police 1st Headquarters 6th Corps, who we just saw, not only practice environmentalism through their diet, but have also established an exemplary recycling system. At the waste disposal yard at the headquarters, a technician is employed to oversee the recycling work, and leftovers are not wasted. They are cultivated as compost for the garden, which make excellent natural fertilizers.
These barrels, sitting in a row, taken leftovers from the kitchen at Taiwan's Special Police 1st Headquarters 6th Corps. Add bacteria powder to the waste, set it aside for 2 months, and out comes homemade natural compost. This lush garden is proof of the quality of the fertilizer.
Here you can see fireflies every night. There are also other birds and flocks of little egrets. We don't use pesticides here. Instead, we use organic liquid fertilizer for the flowers.
Members of the 6th Corps in Taoyuan County's Bade City are dedicated to environmentalism in their free time. Recycling is practiced and an environmental technician makes sure to oversee the collection of waste by dumpster trucks.
We're happy that they're doing so well. They're an example for all the other units.
We are not just doing awareness promotion, we are also practicing it very thoroughly. We flatten plastic bottles and bundle up papers, so that there is less work for the people who collect them.
In caring for the planet, both our hearts and our actions will also become more in tune with nature.
Now we head to southern Taiwan to meet a man whose life has been turned around through recycling. After losing one of his 2 sons to cancer, Zheng Zhangli entered a depression that filled his days and nights. However, thanks to a suggestion by his wife, Zheng started volunteering at the Kaohsiung Xise Tzu Chi recycling station. His time there has finally given Zheng the equanimity to see and accept the impermanence of life.
After my eldest son passed away, my wife suggested I spend time with Tzu Chi. That is how I came to join Tzu Chi.
Seeing their child die is one of the worst things that can befall a parent. Although 70-year-old Zheng speaks lightly of the incident, his eyes still swim with tears.
The children of others are all doing well. I have 2 kids. One lays about doing nothing, and the other passed away. This showed me the impermanence of life, and consequently, I decided to start walking the Bodhisattva's path.
Following the death of his child to cancer, Zheng keenly felt the impermanence of life. Before he came to Tzu Chi, his heart was heavy and there was no longer any laughter in his life.
This place is like a paradise. Here there is laughter and everyone has a smile on their face. It doesn't matter how hard their lives are or have been. Everyone does the work here with the spirit of thankfulness and happiness.
His time at the recycling station and his interaction with his fellow volunteers has allowed Zheng to slowly find peace in his heart and accept the impermanence of the world with equanimity. Surrounded by oceans on all four sides, Taiwan's main island has a shoreline 1,140 kilometers in length. Originally, the government established the Coast Guard Command under the Ministry of Defense and the Marine Police Bureau under the National Police Administration to protect its shores against smuggling operations, while maintaining order on the seas and serving vessels in distress. In 2000, the two agencies were merged to become the Coast Guard Administration under the Executive Yuan. We now introduce you to Taiwan CGA, who serves offshore and on land. The two of them are checking for debris or for small watercraft on either side of the ship. When assigned a mission, we head out regardless of the weather. Commencing patrol. Once waves pounded against this windshield, they must have been 2.5 stories tall.
Cape San Diego is here and Cape Bito is here. So areas from here to here are under our jurisdiction and where we conduct our patrol.
The Coast Guard Administration of the Republic of China is a result of the 2000 merger between the Ministry of Defense's Coast Guard Command and National Police Administration's Marine Police Bureau.
史上最大宗的 K 他命走私案，
现破获了史上最大宗的 K 他命走私案。海巡署接获线报
Cracking down on smuggling operations of illegal goods and maintaining the safety of the open sea are jobs that the crews of CGA take very seriously.
船所在经纬度2453偏龟山岛2海里，现在本船实施登检。
When you get close to a hard-shell ship, sometimes a wave hits, and if you don't make the jump, your legs can be snapped in half.
Sometimes CGA crews are forced to board a vessel for inspection. Other times they board a vessel because of a rescue mission. When others are abandoning the vessel, they remain on board.
Once the captain of a fishing vessel was begging us to put out the fire on his boat. 3 of my crews had already suffered slight smoke inhalation, but they remained steadfast in their position.
Knowing the importance of their responsibility, CGA serves Taiwan off-land and on-land. The rice being handed out to these residents is actually paid for by Audi's CGA crews. Seniors in this fishing village are happy to receive their guests and overwhelmed by the gifts they bring.
Wherever you need our help, be it cleaning or rice delivery, we are at your service.
We've always known the Coast Guard Administration is stationed over there. I thought they only take on smuggling operations and check on sea vessel safety. Now it's different. Every year they deliver daily necessities to us elderly.
Witnessing the rise and fall of Taiwan's fishing industry, the Coast Guard Administration has broadened its mission.
The fishing village is declining. Nowadays, young people go to the cities to work, leaving behind infirm seniors in need of care. So we are doing what we can and work with local communities to deliver care.
On the sea, the Coast Guard Administration of the Republic of China upholds the law and tends to vessels in need. On land, they serve their communities. Whichever task they take on, they serve with dignity and pride.
Caring for infirm seniors is a major issue in Taiwan's aging society, and is the center of attention by many organizations, besides Taiwan's Coast Guard Administration. In our continuing series of features on home caregivers, today we visit an experimental support group for senile dementia sufferers and their relatives. The home provides a relaxing atmosphere where patients can sing old songs together and work on art and crafts, while their family members relax and wind down. Let's go to the Ruizhi home to find out more.
你看我们这个花布呢，这个花布是给长辈去挑选的，哈。那藤椅是长辈所熟悉的东西，哈。那挑选长辈熟悉的花色、熟悉的家具。那他们
The next room is designed in a different style.
你看这边的布呢，这个就比较是中国风的哈，中国的布，哈，中国风。
This may look like a home, but no one lives here. The old-fashioned decor is for these elderly victims of Alzheimer's disease.
They gradually become inactive and uninterested in anything. That's one of their characteristics. If it's like that, they deteriorate faster. But in this group, it's different. When they see lots of other people doing things, they very naturally join in. That's the biggest difference between looking after them yourself and doing it together.
This is the Ruizhi support group home in Taiwan. There's no curriculum and no staff, only old people and their relatives. Alzheimer's sufferers come to this homely place every week to interact with other victims of the disease. But to do what? They do whatever they can remember. Without prompting or help, Mr. Wang keeps himself busy and seems to be in perfect health. But then he reveals his condition. Only putting down the harmonica a few seconds ago, Mr. Wang forgets what he did a second later. This used to drive his wife to despair.
At first, before his Alzheimer's was diagnosed, I thought he was always picking fights with me because he was very temperamental. For example, what he told you a minute ago, he would deny it a minute later and you'd get furious.
Alzheimer's sufferers are oblivious to their disease. Only their carers know what is wrong with them. So the support group home is like a refueling station where family members can share their experiences, and rather than being cared for, the old people keep each other company.
I'm very happy here. It's fun. If you don't want me, I won't come. But if you invite me, of course I'll come.
Lost social connections are rediscovered here, and although the home cannot help recover their memories or lost faculties, it does bring out the best in the seniors.
We always give emotional support and teach the relatives about the aging process. Often we can't tell what's part of normal aging, what we should accept. We look at the faculties they still have, instead of the faculties they have already lost. If we concentrate on what they have, it's a more positive approach.
The Ruizhi support group home is still an experimental project which only accepts mild to medium cases of dementia. But this model of community-based care puts families who are struggling alone in touch with the local support group network. The home also gives victims of Alzheimer's a friendly and human care environment. On this day, the 17th of June, the Statue of Liberty, known as Liberty Enlightening the World, arrived in New York's harbour on this day in 1885. The statue was a gift from the people of France to celebrate the United States' 100th birthday. It was later listed as a World Heritage Site in 1984. At the Democratic National Committee's headquarters in Washington's Watergate complex, 5 men were arrested for breaking into the building on this day in 1972. The arrest led to the discovery of a series of political scandals involving the then-President, Richard Nixon. Nixon announced his resignation in August 9th of the same year and is the only president in the US to have resigned. Nearly half of the planet and over 1 billion people in 110 countries are affected by desertification. On this day in 1995, the United Nations set June 17th as the World Day to combat desertification and drought, calling on the public to take action to better protect our environment. In the same year, on this day, the Tzu Chi Publication Center in the United States took charge of the organization's publications in the North American region. It gave local residents and members a chance to know Tzu Chi better and marked an important milestone in Tzu Chi's overseas humanitarian mission. A 7.9 magnitude earthquake struck southern Sumatra, Indonesia, on June 4th in the year 2000, causing at least 120 deaths and 1,300 injuries. Tzu Chi volunteers on this day of the same year began disaster relief work, not only providing aid supplies to disaster victims, but also assessing the situation with a view to carrying out mid- and long-term plans. A group of medical and administration staff from Darlin City Hospital in Taiwan planted rice seedlings in farmland around the hospital. No chemical fertilizers or pesticides were used in the farming process. On this day in 2006, the hospital staff gathered to reap their harvest. The rice would later be used in the blessing and wisdom red envelopes that are usually handed out at year-end blessing ceremonies.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia regularly visit some 100 students in Nurul Imam Boarding School of North Jakarta to teach them Chinese and Jinsi aphorisms. In our last piece today, we take a look at how volunteers also took the students on a farming experience to show them that they have the power to improve their own lives.
Here in north of Jakarta, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at the Nurul Iman Islamic boarding school to teach students Chinese and Jinsi aphorisms. Teaching Tzu Chi's humanitarian culture inside the classroom, volunteers later roll up their sleeves and get to work removing weeds from a nearby farmland. Farmers bring vegetable seeds and teach the volunteers and students how to plant them.
I hope that they can learn to be independent and understand that they can grow their own vegetables and not have to wait for others to help them.
Quality education helps improve the living conditions for these students and also bring the volunteers and children from different backgrounds closer together.
And in today's program, we travel to Thailand's Chiang Mai, where the 1st, 7th, and 10th graders of the local Tzu Chi school pay tribute to their teachers during the local Teachers' Day celebration. Thank you for watching Thai Headlines. Goodbye.